A barsom is a ritual implement used by Zoroastrian priests to solemnize certain sacred ceremonies. The word barsom derives from the Avestan language baresman, which is in turn a substantive of barez, to grow high. The later form, barsom, first appears in the 9th–12th century texts of Zoroastrian tradition, but remains in use to the present day. The baresman is not related to the baresnum, which is a purification ceremony. The baresman should also not be confused with the mace, the varza. The varza is a metal rod, about 1 centimeter in thickness, often crowned with a bull's head. It has been suggested that the baresman may have a Zoroastrian origin. Physical characteristics. Material in present-day use. The barsom is a bundle of short metal wires or rods, each about 20 centimeters in length and made of brass or silver. The use of metal wires or rods is a relatively recent development. Until at least the 16th century, the barsom was made of twigs or stems, and there was an elaborate ritual surrounding the collection. There is no indication in scripture or older tradition as to which plant was to be used, and Yashna 25.3 eulogizes the plant without being specific. One indication of which plant was used comes from the 16th century, where the authors of the Revaiyat epistles reprimand their Indian co-religionists for not using twigs of the tamarisk. The twigs of the pomegranate tree also figure in other late sources. Strabo speaks of a bundle of slender myrtle rods. Dimensions. Both scripture and tradition are precise with respect to the dimensions of the twigs required. Yashna 57.5 mandates that each twig shall not exceed the height of the knee. Untitled 19.19 requires each rod to be at most the length of an isha and the thickness of the width of a yava. Dharmestha translates isha as plowshare and yava as barley corn. A twig rod was thus at most about 7 mm thick. The Nirangstan further adds that the thickness may not be less than that of a human hair. The barsom that appears in Achaemenid and Sassanid was of impressive size, about 45 centimeters long, made up apparently of stiff straight rods. Number. The number of twigs, rods depends on the ritual being performed, and though Shayasna unambiguously states that this number must be adhered to, a recitation of the Yashna liturgy is accompanied by a bundle of 21 twigs, with 2 others being placed by the side of another ritual implement. The day.The requires 33 twigs in the bundle with 2 other placed as for the Yashna. A recitation of the Visparad requires 35 twigs, with none left over. The number similarly varies for other rituals, all of these however only requiring between 3 and 15 twigs. Binding in present-day use, and with only one exception, the rods remain unbound. The one exception is the barge ceremony for the dead, towards the end of which the baresman bundle is bound with a strip of a leaf of a date palm. Use in ritual. In ritual, the barsom bundle is either held in the left hand, or placed across a pair of metallic stands about 20 centimeters in height, with one stand at each end of the bundle. These stands have a crescent-shaped brace at the top, so preventing the rods from rolling off. The crescent shape gives them the name Marui, literally moon-faced. Dadastan Identic 48.17 states the stands must be of metal. A barsom has no immediate practical purpose. At Zoroastrian ritual it represents plant creation, accompanying the other symbolic tokens that represent other facets of creation, and each of which then also represent the presence of an amesha spenta at the ritual. In the case of the Barsom, it is imariatar, immortality. The crescent-shaped brace of the Barsom stand is likewise identified with vegetation. Ma'at, the moon, is in Zoroastrian scripture and tradition the cosmogonical protector of plants and encourages their growth. The object of holding the Barsom and repeating prayers is to praise the Creator for the support accorded by nature and for the gift of the produce of the earth, which supplies the means of existence to the human and the animal world. The object of selecting the Barsom from the twigs of a tree is to take it as a representative of the whole vegetable kingdom, for which benedictions and thanks to the Creator are offered, and there is further proof to show that the performance of the Barsom ritual is intended to express gratitude to the Creator for his boundless gifts. The Barsom is also held by a priest during the abbreviated yashna recitation before meals. An episode of the Shahnameh recalls that when Yazdijad III was in hiding, his request for a Barsom gave him away to the enemy. In Zoroastrian tradition, the second chapter of the Yashna liturgy is named the Barsom Yasht. As a part of the liturgy, it is not, however, part of the Yasht collection. In the Avestan categorization of Kellen's Yashna to the Barsom Yasht complements the other 7 of the first 8 Yashna chapters, the purpose of the 8th chapter set being an invitation of the divinities to the ceremony. After Yashna 1's initial invitation of Ahura Mazda, the Amesha Spentas and the remaining Yazatas, the baresman and libation are presented to them in Yashna 2.